To welcome Anshuman from K15T for the next talk. And he will show us how to transform Confluence in a powerful product hub. So let's see.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So this is Maggie. She's a product manager at a rapidly growing tech company, and she is also gearing for a very important meeting about our latest product release. She's also somewhat of a deadline junkie. So just a day before the big meeting, she is scrambling through her team's knowledge base to basically try and find any useful information that she can put in her presentation. But instead of finding the information that she needs, Maggie finds herself drowning in a sea of outdated documents, broken structures, confusing notes, and pretty much everything in between. Feeling like Andy Dufresne crawling through the proverbial tunnel of filth, Maggie eventually emerges out on the other side with the missing pieces of her presentation puzzle, but she can't help but think that there must be a better way to manage all of that information. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, you're probably in the right room. If not, oops. Hi, my name is Anshuman Dash, and I'm here today to help make Maggie's life, and hopefully yours, a little bit easier. And over the next 15 minutes, we'll cover sort of the challenges in managing product information in the product development lifecycle. We explore some public-facing product hubs and look at strategies to use that we can use to build powerful product hubs with Confluence to ensure that your team's success and to unleash the potential of your products. All right, creating a successful product is all about sort of managing, obviously, building the product itself, but in the process, managing and organizing the massive amount of information that gets generated in the process. From design specs to user documentation, it is important to know where your team's information and knowledge is being generated, where it's collected, where it is organized, and most importantly, where and how it is being shared. But as they say, with great information comes great challenges, and it is important to identify these challenges before we can sort of dive into the strategies of tackling them. So let's check out some of these typical hurdles that teams come across when handling product information during the development process, and how these problems usually affect the team and the customers. All right, so the first one is disordered or disorganized documentation, which impacts team efficiency and customer experience. Then we have hindered information access, which basically means difficulty in finding relevant information at the right time, which, as you might already have experienced, affects timely support and eventually customer satisfaction. Then we have inaccuracy and inconsistent information. And inefficient management and quality control usually results in costly mistakes, and especially if you are working in regulated industries. And finally, with larger teams and chaotic information comes information silos, which cause duplication of efforts and inconsistencies, which eventually leads to a shitty experience for the team and the customers. You can think of information management in the product development process as a game of Jenga. Just like in Jenga, managing information effectively is all about balance, precision, and strategy. And finding the right piece at the right time can basically make or break your product. Now, we kind of saw some of these common challenges that comes up when managing product information effectively. And it can be quite a challenge. And there's a multitude of strategies that you can adopt to solve this problem. But today, we are going to focus on one particular solution, which is called product hubs. Now, in simple terms, a product hub is a centralized location where all the relevant content and resources about your product is stored and eventually shared. Now, product hubs play a crucial role in organizing content and resources, making them easily accessible to team members, partners, and importantly, to your customers and any other stakeholders who are involved in that process. Now, product hubs can come in many different shapes and sizes, catering to a diverse needs. To better understand their structure, we can classify product hubs into three main categories based on sort of the structure and functionality that they cater to. So the first one is the purpose of the product hub. Then we have the target audience for the hub and the type of content that we are sharing in the hubs. So let's kick things off with the first criteria, which is purpose. And purpose of a product hub is all about the main goal or mission of the hub that it is meant to accomplish. And it can be anything from offering support to sharing knowledge to fostering collaboration. For example, support hubs mainly concentrate on addressing customer problems and answering questions like help centers. They offer users easy access to things like FAQs and other helpful materials, making it easy for them to resolve any issues quickly. Feature hubs, on the other hand, are showcase product features, benefits, use cases. Examples would be product demo sites, landing pages, feature galleries. And learning hubs offer resources for user education and professional development like training portals and knowledge bases. All right, moving on to the second criteria for classifying product hubs, we have the target audience. Now, folks who will be using the hubs can be quite diverse, from your in-house teams and stakeholders to your partners and your customers. And knowing who you are creating the hub for really helps you craft the content and cater to the needs, the specific needs of the target audience. For example, customer-centric hubs are built with the end users in mind, and they offer resources and assist customers in extracting the most from your products. They can range from user guides, tutorials, public roadmaps, and changelogs, and so on. Then there are the employee-centric hubs, which are tailored for internal teams promoting collaboration and information sharing through platforms like intranet sites and internal wikis. And thirdly, partner-centric hubs cater to external partners like resellers, offering resources that support the enablement and technical assistance through channels like partner portals or sales portals. And our final criteria for classifying product hubs is the content type. We have basically, depending on the kind of information that will be featured in the hub, you can classify these different kinds of product hubs. And some examples include text-based hubs, which mainly concentrate on written content, like articles, guides, and documentation. And these include examples like documentation sites and knowledge bases, which provide comprehensive written resources for the users. Then we have multimedia hubs, which contain a mix of media types, including videos, images, and interactive content. And some examples here would be video libraries or interactive demos. And finally, asset repositories function as a centralized location for downloading valuable offline resources like ebooks, checklists, reports, templates, playbooks, and whatnot. And these can include things like resource hubs, template galleries, design libraries, and so on. Now, these were just a few examples of product hubs, but they all share the same mission of making content accessible to the end users and the users of a product. But keep in mind that these categories are not written in stone, and product hubs can mix and match these different aspects and may even have overlapping functions. All right. Now that we've got a basic understanding of what product hubs are, how they are classified, and some real-life examples, let's dive into the process of building some good product hubs. In this final section of the talk, we'll be discussing 6 strategies for building effective and efficient product hubs. It's a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. All right, the first strategy to pick is to pick the right knowledge management tool. Choosing a good knowledge management tool is pretty much like dating. You're looking for a partner who complements your needs, has the right qualities, features, and can adapt and grow with you in time. And although you cannot completely eliminate uncertainties, there are certain green flags that can guide you to finding the right partner. So first, choose a tool that your team is comfortable with. That is quite important, because that reduces the learning curve and encourages adoption internally. Then opt for a tool that fosters collaboration, allowing team members to work together more seamlessly. Then a good tool should be adaptable to your team's needs. So look for a tool that has options for organizing and structuring content the way you want. Look for a tool that offers customization options and the ability to extend its functionality through APIs or apps or plugins, however you want to call it. And finally, make sure that the tool you select can integrate with the rest of your tech stack, streamlining your work and improving your general collaboration and efficiency. Now, while all the strategies that we will be discussing going forward can be applied to any knowledge management tool, we have chosen Confluence because we really like them. We really sort of connected with them on our first date. So everything that we're going to discuss from here on will talk in context of Confluence. All right, the second strategy for building product hubs is to embrace a structured approach, which is kind of establishing open communication and boundaries in a relationship. So we're taking this to the next level. Now, by implementing a clear information structure, you're creating a strong foundation that fosters understanding and ensures that everyone on the team is on the same page. Having a clear information architecture is almost like having a clear roadmap for organizing your content and ensures that the product hub is easy to navigate and that stakeholders and users can find all the information that they are looking for quickly and efficiently. In Confluence, you can use structures like spaces, pages, and page trees to organize your content hierarchically. This allows you to keep related content together and makes it easier to locate and manage, and eventually share and publish. You can also standardize your content using features like templating, metadata, page properties, labels, and macros, which makes it more consistent and easier to maintain in the long run. Now, the next strategy for building product hubs is prioritizing quality and accuracy. Now, just as a strong relationship is built on trust and understanding, a successful product hub relies on the integrity and clarity of its content. Now, prioritizing content quality and accuracy is often easier said than done, but it is essential and crucial for building good product hubs. That is why intentionally dedicate time and resources for this process, just as you would invest time in maintaining a strong and healthy relationship. So, in order to do that, use content formatting best practices because ensuring consistent formatting across your product hub will not only make it look professional, but also improves readability and comprehension. And that's ultimately why we are collecting and writing and publishing all of this information. Then by adopting a consistent naming convention and having a proper style guide defined within the organization will help you to maintain a uniform voice and tone across your your content. And finally, to ensure accuracy and relevance of your product hub over a time period, it is important to regularly review that content. So you can establish a content review process that involves using features like archival, analytics, and automation in your tools. And in that case, Confluence already comes with all that features to keep the information up to date and make sure that your users are finding the right information and the fresh information, basically. All right, we have 2 minutes. So what I'll do is I will skim through these things, last few points. And I've already pre-recorded this, so you can get this talk to see the last part. So the next strategy is basically single sourcing your product information, which is all about reducing redundancy and improving the integrity of the content. Now, single sourcing usually includes a lot of content management best practices, like content centralization, which is all about bringing all of your content and organizing it in a single place so that it is easy to maintain and reduce duplication. Then use version controlling and change tracking so that you have the right information available always at the right time. Use content reuse policies so that you are reducing duplication, which eventually helps in keeping your product hubs clean. And then tailor your users' experience by using features like conditional content and translations to give them a personalized experience. Then the next important thing is, like in a relationship, sharing your thoughts and feelings is important. It is equally important when you have to share your content through a product hub. So for that, use targeted sharing. Make sure that you know exactly who you are targeting with your information and customize your product hubs accordingly to maximize its impact and relevance. Establish a regular schedule so that your content is up to date and this keeps users informed. Leverage different communication channels and different content formats to keep it fresh and interesting because this also increases visibility and increases reach. And finally, encourage collaboration by inviting feedback and opening communication channels for continuous improvement. And the final strategy is encouraging collaboration and communication. This is pretty much common knowledge, so I'll just skip over it. Establish a culture of openness, invite everyone to improve your content. Then leverage the collaboration features of your tools, like commenting, @mentions, inline comments, so that you're encouraging your team members more and more to contribute towards your content. Set clear, and then promote cross-functional collaboration, because nothing says silos than putting restrictions on your content. So invite everybody in, use the collective knowledge of your teams, go beyond sort of your own functions, and this will help in reducing silos, which eventually will help build great product hubs. And finally, set clear expectations and responsibilities, because things really get done well when people know exactly what to do and who needs to do it. So in conclusion, building effective product hubs is all about managing the information, and implementing these strategies will eventually help you build great product hubs. So we first examined all the challenges that teams face when managing product information in the product development process. Then we delved into what product hubs are, and we saw some examples. And finally, we covered 6 essential strategies for building your own product hubs. And if you're interested to learn more, you can scan this QR code. I don't know if everyone has internet access, but here I've created a curated list of resources like webinars, videos, articles, and even a recording of this pre-recording of this talk. And you will also see that that's a hub that we have created with our apps as well. So, meta. All right, but for those who appreciate a more personal touch, we are here at the event today. We're going to be there tomorrow at the Partner Accelerate, and you can also come see us at booth number 38 during the expo times. We love to talk about Confluence and Jira, and we would love to talk to you about how you can build great product hubs with Confluence and our apps as well. My name is Anshuman Dash. Have a great afternoon, and thank you for listening.